everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am coming to you from a very cold and cozy winter/fall day. I am sick, in case you couldn't tell or didn't see my post the other day. I'm just getting over a really bad case of sinusitis, but I'm just posted up here with some Tylenol. This is just gonna be a cute little cozy video. We're gonna be hanging out, getting our goals down. Get yourself a cup of tea, whatever. It feels really cute and cozy to be back here right now because I don't know if some of you have gone really far back. I know some of you have because you've commented on the videos. But the first handful of videos that are on my channel are just like travel vlogs kind of things, because that's really what I used to post. Then I posted a welcome to the channel video, of course, and the first official video that I posted was goals for, it must have been 2022. Yeah, I think it was goals for 2022. So I posted at the beginning of January in 2022. That's when I started my channel, and it was a video about my goals for the year. And the whole point of my channel back then, it's funny because the mission statement actually hasn't changed. It's always been sharing realistic ways to live a happy and intentional life. And all the stuff that has come from that has just been a natural progression of that mission statement that I have kept the entire time I've had this channel. And that's always how it's gonna be. That's just the point of this channel, whether it's no buy, anti-consumerist stuff, minimalism, whatever. It's all coming back to that same mission statement. But anyways, a big reason why I started my channel in the first place is so that I could share goals and keep myself accountable. And in that first video, cute little Grace girl was sharing her goals for 2022. And then throughout the year, I think I posted 3 other update videos of how it's going and how do we feel this quarter, and do we need to adjust our goals and all that stuff. So I feel this no buy year is just the natural progression of that, and keeping myself accountable and readjusting where I need to and all that stuff. So all that freaking exposition aside, I am going to be sharing my goals, or at least brainstorming some of my goals for 2025. Now in this video, I would love to think about a couple more of the details in terms of the no buy situation or the slow buy situation that I'm gonna do next year. I haven't really been able to sit down and actually think about it in detail or write it down. I have a lot of vague ideas in my head. I just haven't been able to put ideas to paper yet. So I guess that's part of what I want to do today, as well as just thinking about and putting down some other ideas and goals of things that I want to do next year. I know a lot of people last year in my comments were saying how they wanted to have a word of the year, and I've definitely done stuff like that. The themes of this year for me were intention, simplicity, connection, and joy. And I feel in general, that's pretty fire. I'm sticking with that into this next year in 2025. I want to focus less on actual goals and more on just gaining experience and knowledge, if that makes sense. Because this year was a lot about facts and figures, making sure that I'm staying on track for XYZ, whatever, making sure that I'm not doing certain things. And as good as that is, now that I feel I've laid a really good groundwork and foundation for completely curbing my impulse buying, I can just sit back and enjoy a little bit more, because obviously I still want to save money and not be crazy about how much money I'm spending, but at the same time I really just want to slow it down next year. I don't necessarily want to be my theme for 2025 is slow living, because I don't want to give myself a challenge to do next year. I'm done with that. I've done it for the past 2 years. I've shared about it for the past 2 years, and it's starting to burn me out. I just don't want to do it anymore. So my essence of next year is going to be slow living and enjoying things and taking time to learn things and have experiences, but I'm not gonna make a whole thing about it. I'm just going to gently and freely share how that all goes with you guys. And that's how it's gonna go, pretty much. I don't wanna make it like a checklist of things that I have to do or have a quota, because I've tried to do that and it doesn't really work for me. Even gentle quotas are not useful to me at all, and I feel like I just kind of wanna do away with that. It just feels more stressful than it needs to be. So like, I'm not gonna do any of that. I just wanna have some ideas of things that I would like to expand upon in this new year. But anyways, I've already said that. Without any further ado, let's get into it. I'm not moving from this couch, and that's what's gonna happen. Guys, I did a cute little thing. It looks kind of messy. I feel like it looks better in person, the color at least. But I totally messed up because I tried to just write brainstorm on the top, and then I messed up the cursive, and then I put a little sticky note thing that I ripped out, and then I messed up again. So I just turned it into a little cloud, and now it's raining, and it's a brainstorm for 2025. You can always adjust when you have a bullet journal, and that's what I love about it. Let's just get right into it. Number one thing. I feel like I've mentioned this before on the channel, but it is one of my lifelong goals to be a polyglot. And I already know English, obviously. I know like basic Mandarin. I took it for a little bit in college. I definitely need to go back and refresh because it's kind of gone. I took 2 years of Spanish in high school and have been surrounded by a lot of Spanish in my life since then. So I feel like my Spanish is better than my Mandarin, even though I took Mandarin for longer. Spanish is just an easier language, I'm sorry. And then I also tried very vaguely to start learning Korean. I know the alphabet, I know like a couple of words, and that's it. I haven't really gone into that in earnest, and I think it's because I'm not enrolled into a course. And the thing is, for me, when it comes to language learning, is that I need a teacher. I need a structured course because I'm not very good at self-learning, which is why I was so excited and honored that Lingoda reached out to me. So I want to say a huge thank you to Lingoda for sponsoring this portion of today's video. It's one of those things where I'm like, do I want to invest in this? Do I want to spend money on learning a language when there's so many free resources out there? I'm not going to tell you that you have to spend money on stuff because you know that's not the point of this channel, but honestly, unless I have a teacher, it's really hard for me to learn, especially when I'm starting a new language from scratch. Oh, I didn't even mention, hi, I'm gonna be learning Italian. I'm really excited about it. I'm going on a trip in March to Italy. I don't know about you guys, but I really like being able to pretend like I'm not American when I travel. So I'm gonna start taking Italian with Lingoda because for me, when it comes to learning a new language, I can't read grammar out of a book. That's just not a thing. I need someone to explain it to me. I need to hear it. I need to see how it works. I need to be able to ask questions. There's a lot of free resources that I can use to pad my learning for sure. But also, Lingoda has like flashcards and other stuff that you have access to even if you want to like pause your classes at the time. So you can like do a couple of classes, pause your stuff, use the resources that they have, and then keep going. It's very much like a create your own adventure kind of situation that I'm really excited to try out. Guys, I'm about to start my first Lingoda class. I'm kind of nervous but excited at the same time. I just signed up for the first like intro class because I've never taken a Lingoda class before. So let's see what happens. Okay, just finished my first Italian class. Pro tip, honestly, I think that you could probably skip the intro class because I'm sure that you're going to be covering all the kinds of stuff that you need to know in the hello lesson. It was still good to go because now I feel like really confident like going forward, but having taken it, I would say just skip that first class and just go to the second one. Help you get the most bang for your bucks. You know what I'm saying, guys? So anyways, if one of your goals is to start learning a language or get more serious about a language, then I would highly suggest trying out Lingoda. I'm super excited to see where it takes me, at least to get me off the ground with my Italian learning. They very kindly gave me a link for you guys that gets you 50% off. So if you want to start learning a language with Lingoda, or you want to gift someone the opportunity to do so, the information is in my description. Thank you so much again to Lingoda for sponsoring this portion of today's video. And now that I've ranted and raved about learning languages, let's keep making our list. Okay, so besides learn Italian, another thing that I would really like to do, because I'm assuming that it's not going to happen in the next month, is I really want to finish my granny square crochet cardigan. The light is totally changing, so just don't worry about it. I know that I said I don't like having check off the list goals, but I would really love to have it so that I could at least wear it a little bit during this winter season. One of my coworkers passed away, and she was like an avid knitter. And we spent a lot of Sundays together at work, and my other coworker went to her husband and was able to get a lot of her yarn. She had already gifted me some of her extra yarn before she passed away, but my other coworker went to her husband's house and was able to get more yarn. So I'm really excited to see what kinds of colors and sizes and things is in that. I already have a couple of skeins, so I think I have plenty of yarn. I'll see what else there is to work with this new stash that I'm getting gifted from her collection. And yeah, I just want to incorporate some of those skeins of yarn into this granny square cardigan project. She doesn't have that many people to remember her by. She never had any kids, and she has a couple of nieces and nephews, I believe, but it's really just like her husband, and her dog. I just want to do something really nice and positive with some of the things that she cared so much about, which was like knitting and making things for people. So I feel like it would be a really lovely way to honor her memory, and that's something that I really want to do by the end of next year. And I fear that it's going to take me a very long time because I don't even fully officially know how to make a granny square yet. I started learning how to do one in a video a couple weeks ago, and then my life has just been insane since then, so I haven't really been able to do that. But something that I really want to do, especially this month, is to officially learn how to make at least one style of granny square so that I can start kind of getting an idea of how long this project is going to take and blah, blah, blah. Next one. I really want to learn how to make sourdough next year. That is, again, something that I'm going to learn how to do next year and continue on for the rest of my life. I follow this YouTuber, and she constantly says, make your waiting room your classroom. And I love that turn of phrase so much because right now, I'm in the waiting room of being on a homestead. And, you know, obviously, I have time to learn all these skills for however long I have left on this earth. But at the same time, I feel like it would be really cool if I knew how to do a lot of these homesteading food things beforehand. This year, I learned how to make pickles. Well, kind of. I learned how to make fridge pickles. It's not all the boiling and all the crazy stuff yet, but I'll eventually learn how to do that. Maybe that'll be another year goal, but I really want to learn how to make bread, specifically sourdough, because I feel like it is such a thing. And I learned how to crochet this year. I want to get better at it next year. I might try to get back into knitting, but that's like a back burner goal. I'm not even going to write it down because it's just like an idea, a thought, you know, a wisp, perhaps you could say. But sourdough, that's something that I really genuinely want to learn how to do. And I feel like it is a process, so I feel like the sooner I start, the longer I have to get better at it. You know what I mean? So that is definitely something that I want to do. Okay, that's 3 things on the list so far. Learn Italian, finish granny square cardigan, and learn how to make sourdough. I need to get a sourdough starter, but I actually think that one of my friends from high school who lives in Queens has a sourdough starter because they make sourdough all the time. Oh, that's another thing. I really want to learn how to sew with a machine. Okay, learn how to machine sew. I'm just like, I'm going to be in my granny era next year. And I'm so kind of sick of everyone being like, oh, in my whatever era. Guys, I don't care. I'm fully transforming into a grandma in 2025. I just want to learn how to do all the cute little cozy things. I just want cozy hobbies next year. That's all I want. Basically, my boyfriend's mom said to me, I don't know what you want for your birthday, but I would love to buy you some pottery classes. Thing is, I already know how to do pottery. And the place that I go, sometimes they offer a work exchange program, so I can just work there for a couple hours a week, and then they give me pottery classes that I can go for free, or I can go in whenever I want and do the pottery and all that stuff. So I'm thinking maybe not that. Sewing classes in the city are really expensive. They offer 3 free sewing classes a year in my union that I'm in. So perhaps I will ask her for a sewing machine, like a lightly used secondhand sewing machine for my birthday, and I can teach myself how to sew. Because I've had a crash course, like a basic 10-minute lesson, but like I want to actually learn like legit and be confident with a sewing machine, because I can like use a basic tutorial or go to one of those free classes that my union offers and then learn the other basics on YouTube probably. And I know I just said that I'm not good when it comes to self-teaching. Okay, I know I just said that. But when it comes to a sewing machine, I literally personally know over 10, 12, 15 people that know how to use a freaking sewing machine. That is my job. I work in the wardrobe union of New York City, IATSE Local 764. I know so many people that I can ask. So I feel like I don't need to pay $500 or however much money it costs at Mood to go take a sewing class when I already have a million people that I could ask questions. So, anyways, I feel like these are really good goals. In general, like the finished granny square cardigan, that's like one of my goals for the year, like a thing that I want to check off. However, in parentheses, that's in parentheses. My actual goal is just to get better at crochet and like prioritize spending more time on crochet, because I feel like a lot of that fell to the wayside this year. I was doing a lot of reading, which is fine. I love to read. It is probably my favorite hobby, but I just want to like be able to do other cute little cutesy things too. So I feel like that's a pretty good list of like 4 overarching goals and things that I definitely want to learn and do next year. In terms of like the vibes of next year, I definitely want just to be more chill, you know, slow hobbies. That's what all these things are. They're all slow hobbies. I want to be able to spend less time watching stuff. I want to spend more time just connecting with these slow hobbies, doing my little Italian lessons, or crocheting a granny square here and there, or working on a little skirt. Like, I want to be able to sew myself a skirt by the end of next year. You know what I mean? I want to be able to bake myself a loaf of sourdough. So these are definitely my goals for next year. Now I need to talk about the no-buy year. No, it's not going to be a no-buy year. The low-buy / slow-buy that I will be doing next year. I have a couple of ideas and things that I want to just throw out there. Throw out at the wall. I'm going to make an actual video about this probably later on in this month, but I'm not in the frame of mind to do that right now. In terms of the low-buy year, next year, I'm still probably going to do the green, yellow, and red light lists, just because I feel like that's a really good framework for me personally in terms of like what I'm allowed to do and not allowed to do. I think there's going to be a bit more leniency in terms of what's on each list. I still have a couple of categories of things that I'm pretty sure are gonna stay on the red light list, just because I don't necessarily need them in my life. There's a couple of things I'm going to leave vague in terms of like what I'm allowed to do with that, if it's just going to be like a quantity thing or a monetary thing. Some examples of that is maybe I'll let myself get my hair done or hair cut or whatever, or spend some money on something relating to my hair one time next year. I don't know yet. Or like a certain budget for that. I don't know. The thought has floated into the back of my head about dyeing my hair like a teal green kind of color. Almost like this color. And before you're like, oh my gosh, Grace, what the heck? My hair has been lots of different colors throughout my life. I've had light purple hair. I've had pink hair. I've had red hair, fire truck red. Anyways, my hair's been all different kinds of colors. Also blonde for most of my life, honestly. And yeah, so this is not completely out of the realm of things that I would do as a person. Anyways, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so in terms of like clothes, books, whatever, I don't know 100% yet if I'm going to do a quantity of like, I'm allowed to buy 5 books in 2025, or I'm allowed to spend $50 on books in 2025. I don't know yet. And that's something that I will decide later on. What I do think I'm going to do is something that someone else in the Discord server has done, which is kind of like a fun money budget. I think a couple of you guys have done this. Definitely people have talked about it in my comments before, in terms of like, instead of having a yellow light list where it's like you're allowed to buy this thing or whatever, it's kind of like you're allowed to spend this much money per month on things that are in your yellow light list. And if you can't afford it this month, then it rolls over to the next month or whatever. You have to wait, blah, blah, blah. There's not going to be much travel next year in my life. I'm literally going to Italy in March. Like I said, it's a family trip. And my younger sibling is graduating college. And those are the only 2 trips that I have planned for next year as of right now. And I really hope to limit it to barely any more above that. We also, Ray and I are going to be buying a car next year in order to make trips along the East Coast a bit more easy, so I can visit my grandparents in Massachusetts more often and Ray's mom in Virginia more often, and like he'll be able to use the car to go up to Connecticut and record his music more easily. All that stuff. We've done the numbers, we've done the math. Don't tell me about anything about a car. We know what we're getting ourselves into, okay? It costs insurance. It costs this. It costs that. I know. Our super is really good at cars, so he'd be able to help us with repairs. Literally, after doing the math, we would save more money like per year. Obviously, besides the actual cost of the car. After that, we'd be saving more money each year just owning a car than spending all this money on rental cars to go visit family members and blah, 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 blah. All the stuff. We've done the math. We've run the numbers. It's happening. Don't say anything about it, please, or I will scream and cry. I'm really sensitive right now, okay? And I've gotten 2 mean comments on my things in the past 48 hours, and I'm just not having a good time. And I know that sounds so stupid because, like, I've gotten hundreds of nice comments in the past years, but, like, I'm just sensitive right now, okay? So be nice to me, please. What else was I gonna say? I think that's, like, generally the idea, though, for next year, is that I'm going to have a very short list of things that I'm allowed to buy, make myself a budget each month for things on that, like, fun list or whatever, and that kind of includes, like, extracurricular activities, like dancing, going on a trip, whatever. I want to keep it pretty tight, you know, while also budgeting for the costs of a car each month and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I think that's essentially my plan for next year. I'm going to get into a bit more specifics about it, as I said, in a different video at some point this month, I'm assuming. Hopefully, I don't know. There's a lot going on right now. I think I have more time to actually sit down, think about it, relax a bit this month. The past 2 months have been absolutely nutso. I'm glad that I have some time to breathe now. But I think that's generally the idea for next year. Having money for a car and spending a limited amount of money on like fun budget stuff. And then that will essentially reduce the amount that I'm spending on stuff. So I think that's like pretty much my plan for next year. To go over like my main goals. Again, I want to learn Italian, learn how to make sourdough, learn how to machine sew, and just spend more time crocheting in general. Not specifically just finishing the granny square cardigan thing, because that's just like a product of spending more time crocheting, but yeah. And I also really want to get back in touch with my minimalism and declutter a bit more and kind of just get the whole apartment back to a place that feels manageable, because the move to New Zealand is coming around the corner faster than you would really want to think about it. And there's a lot to be done. You know, I have a lot of time to plan and prepare, but I'm gonna need it, you know? I want to make sure that I'm nice and decluttered as much as possible before that happens. So there's just like a lot of things that are going on in the next year or so. And sometimes it's overwhelming and sometimes it's exciting to think about all these things. But right now I'm just trying to be positive about all of the fun and exciting things that are going to happen next year, and all of the wonderful things that I'm going to learn and get better at as a person, and just kind of spend more time slowing down and all that stuff. So, thank you so much for watching today's video. Sorry it was kind of chaotic. I am like really somehow so out of practice at talking to the camera. I feel like my brain is going a million miles an hour right now. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day relaxing because I'm still sick. Thanks so much for being here, watching the videos, being so nice and supportive all the time, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, I'm sending you all my love, because we are all literally just trying our best out here. So try to be nice to people, because you never know what they're going through. And yeah, that's it. Bye!